Okay, so we will be talking about the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard, but this presentation will not talk about the functional details of the dashboard, but instead it will center on the development phases of its creation from inception to reception, how it came to be. So I'm not going to discuss about the functionalities and the technical side of it, but rather the development stage that it faced during the creation. Okay, so ACB already has a CHN, it's a clearinghouse mechanism, which what do you call this? We can get the narrative data on biodiversity related issues and information. But uh, we at the knowledge management department thought that it would be better to have a platform that people who needs a quick look of a quick look to get the facts up front without having to read so many narratives. So we thought of creating the dashboard. The dashboard, as you know, all the facts are there, all the information are there, very informative, very graphical, and you don't have really to read the story behind it if you really want the facts straight out of the box. Okay, so the dashboard was created, but it evolved into something more. So for this webinar, I was given these the discussion points. So we're going to talk about the regional experience of establishing the dashboard, the results, outcomes, utilizing the dashboard, operational and strategic challenges in terms of data quality, maintenance, and global contribution, and the lessons learned and recommendation for dashboards with regional applications. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the regional experience. Now, the ASEAN dashboard, the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard rather, was established late 2020 during the peak of the COVID pandemic. So imagine establishing something regional during the pandemic. It is funded under the European Union's Biodiversity Conservation and Management of Protected Areas in the ASEAN, or the BCAMP project. It was developed in partnership with NatureServe, who provided the foundation and initial system development, which was primarily built on the ArcGIS online dashboard platform. Being a regional project, it means you have stakeholders across different countries, primarily the 10 ASEAN states. We also have our developer partners, NatureServe, based in the US, as well as our data providers and data partners. So coordination, collaboration, and consultation are all done in a virtual fashion forcefully, as it is during the COVID pandemic. So we have the BCAMP, our funding partner, NatureServe, our development partner, and then this is the original layout of the dashboard. It has changed so much ever since. So I'm flashing this screenshot of the old dashboard that we had. Okay, so as I've said, the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard is hosted in our ArcGIS online platform. So basically maps. Sorry. It's basically mapping. And what you can see, or what you can do originally is that you can play around with the different layers on the map, turning layers on and off. You can also see some charts, tables, depending on the data that is attached to the GIS shapefile. So this is the original version of the dashboard when it was launched 2 years after the inception. It took 2 years because it was during the pandemic. So having the collaboration, the discussion, consultation, and everything with all the stakeholders must be done virtually. So that's the limiting factor in the development of the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard. Okay, over the course of its runtime, the other functionalities and other ACD-related information are incorporated into the dashboard. So this is when the original format of the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard seems to be inefficient now to what do you call this, to encapsulate all this incoming information and thematic concerns. So aside from these, all other future programs are now encouraged to integrate with the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard. And so we thought the original hosting of the dashboard in ArcGIS Online will not be sustainable anymore because, hosting a platform, hosting a dashboard inside the ArcGIS Online will be financially taxing. Having a subscription there, a developer subscription in ArcGIS Online. We call this AGOL. ArcGIS Online, we call them AGOL. So having a web development there in AGOL, it's a lot of credits. And those credits, you buy it. Credits is the consumable currency in ArcGIS Online. You buy credits and then you do stuff inside ArcGIS Online, and then as you do that stuff, your credits gets eaten away. So you have to replenish every now and then our credits just to keep the dashboard running. So it's no longer feasible to let it stay there in ArcGIS Online. So we decided to redesign and restructure the dashboard from the ArcGIS Online into a local server system. We used WordPress, the content managing system, and then we only link the database outside. Later, you will see the different data parts that we have. And then we also retained part of the ArcGIS Online for the interactive mapping part of the dashboard. We also have we also develop our own web mapping service to host most of the shapefiles offline, locally here, because storing GIS shapefiles in ArcGIS Online also it's a lot of credit, especially region-wide shapefiles. They eat a lot of credits. So we can now host all the other thematic interests like the ASEAN Heritage Parks, the ASEAN Alien Invasive Species, the traditional knowledge, digital library inside the dashboard, because having it designed and developed here locally, it is now flexible for our developers to really structure the website the way they want it to be. I'm not saying anything against ArcGIS Online. ArcGIS Online is a great platform. You can do a lot, yes, you can do a lot, but they have their own protocols. They have their own system. There's a learning curve to really discover the things that you can do inside ArcGIS Online. But the bottom line is they all consume credits. So that's the problem. So we really have to migrate almost everything from ArcGIS Online to our local CMS. So these are the data partners that we have. We already have this even before we thought of creating the dashboard. The Biodiversity Knowledge Management Department of ACD has already established this partnership long time ago, when we still having developing the killing house mechanism. So we have the OBs, TB, Jeroboam, and everything here. So these are all linked to the dashboard using API. So when you do a species search in our dashboard, it will actually throw you to either GBIT or OBIS or any of these database partners, and they will be giving you their data from their server into our through our dashboard. Um, so the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard also lets you explore different institutions other than instead of just biodiversity data, it also lets you explore the different institutions that we call data providers or data users. Um, this empowers the academies, museums, herbariums, the other institutions to showcase their data holdings. So as shown in this example up here in the slide, so you can search for a country and then it will give you the country under the search institutions tab in the search bar. It will give you a list of all the institutions that are providing data to uh, to the global biodiversity data sets. So it will be listed here. And then when you click one of those, when you choose any of these institutions, it will give you um, uh, a more robust description or information about that institution. So it is also so the dashboard is also beneficial to the institution and the researchers to share their data. So results and outcomes of utilizing the dashboard. The acceptance and adoption. Well, the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard is part of the mandate of ACB's Biodiversity Knowledge Management Team as they support ACB's goal in providing the ASEAN member states with the technical support and guidance in mobilizing their biodiversity data. So data mobilization ensures that the data available for evaluating policies in development are supported by scientific facts and timely and representative of the actual situation on the ground. So what better way to motivate the ASEAN member states in mobilizing their data than having the ability to visualize data in a very informative and decision supportive ways. So other than seeing charts and tables or reading the reports, they can now see their data in a very visual and engaging way that gives them a better perspective of what's really happening on the ground. So that's the power of infographics, maps, and charts techniques. So the AMS became curious and interested how their data will look like from the various perspectives. Regional summaries generated in the dashboard are more likely to be erroneous if there are significant data gaps. So everybody can see those data gaps, and then the countries themselves will see, oh, why is my country just displaying these data? And then he will realize that he is not sharing enough data to the world. So it will encourage the countries to share, to mobilize their data so that the dashboard will display a more a more accurate and representative to the actual reality of their country situation. Researchers will be able to reference scientific data from their studies from the dashboard because they have direct access to global biodiversity data and information. For example, a search for a single species can link you to GBIT's occurrence maps. It can link you to IUCN red list status and giving a full species profile, a full spectrum from nomenclature to conservation status. So the dashboard has evolved, but it has evolved from a biodiversity information hub to a global biodiversity database portal. So you're not just when you use the biodiversity dashboard of ACD, you're not just dealing with the ACD database. You're dealing with the global database. So you get access to the global database that presents a full spectrum of information on the conservation status of that species. So visibility and access. Aside from species and biodiversity data, different institutions like academies, museums, herbariums also benefit from collaborating with ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard because their data collections and research had a wider reach and reception. So it benefits them. We all know that scientists thrive in publication, in getting their studies cited or referenced. That's how they thrive. So um, giving them the ability to reach so many more through our dashboard, it benefits them so much. The dashboard is not just a one-way information flow. You not only get information, but you can also provide your information. Um, Users could also publish their data directly to the global databases such as Qubit, directly from the dashboard through the ASEAN Biodiversity Dashboard's integrated publishing toolkit. This facility greatly helps the AMS to mobilize and share their data readily. Now, let's go to the operational and strategic challenges. Um, on regards to data quality, um, it is fundamental. It's a fundamental rule of thumb when you're providing data and information. You have to be accurate. So adherence to global standards in data verification and assessment must be practiced. Scrutiny to choices of data sources is also a must. You have to scrutinize your data sources. Are they reliable enough? Are they globally accepted? So globally accepted institutions like GB, IOC, and other dashboard partners have their own protocols for data integrity. Nauna na sila eh. They've been there. So they have they have their own system check or in our quality check before they publish their data. But still be sure to filter the data that should pass your level of acceptable standards. For data sources that publish periodical releases like WDPA, WDKDA, JDM. WDPA provides the periodical releases of the protected areas. WDKDA is for the KDAs. GADM is for the administrative boundaries that we use usually, the boundaries of the barangay, boundaries of the municipalities and everything, country boundaries, provincial boundaries. So they get they get updated and refreshed every now and then. So it is important to have a periodical check if there are changes, if there are new releases, so you can download the new releases and be sure um, to use the recent release for your dashboard. Maintenance is a financial commitment. Why? Because it's not enough that you purchase the latest server and workstation equipment. When you start developing a dashboard, they should always be upgraded and replaced once they are getting near the end of their warranty. Every hardware has their lifespan, and every software gets obsolete eventually. So new technology pops up almost every 3 years and make sure to evaluate them if they are feasible enough to make maintenance more efficient and reliable. There should be adequate funding to support the hardware and software upgrades. So for the regional scope, but global benefits, As demonstrated earlier, although the dashboard targets researchers and users generally from the ASEAN region, biodiversity data is being mobilized across global institutions. The region is part of the global sphere, and anything that happens in the region certainly affects the entire world. If more data gets mobilized in the region, the better science gets in the global scale. As for the utilization of the dashboard itself, anybody from the entire world can use it, giving better reach and utilization for the regional data contributors. Lessons learned and recommendations for dashboards with regional applications. Strategic scoping and planning. Um, the need to identify the scope of your dashboard. Are they doable, sustainable, or in demand? You can start small to avail according to your budget, but choose the subject that is growing in demand. Because the more demand, the more urge it gets to be funded and expanded. And then another lesson learned here: always consult your stakeholders. What do they need? What do they want? What do they want to see? Uh, how well will they use? How well will your dashboard be used? Are they going to be easy, complicated, or anything like that? So always consult your stakeholders. And remember that dashboard was developed during the COVID pandemic, and lesson these lessons learned have been a very, very difficult uh, thing for the developers of the dashboard, because you need to consult the stakeholders who are mostly international from a different country. Some of them are, what do you call this, are not really that technologically updated, like Lao, PDR, and Cambodia or Myanmar, facing a very facing a political difficulty. So this is a challenge that you should always face, but it is a lesson, and it's a must. And the more that you talk to your stakeholders, the more you know what they want, and the more they will understand your project, and they are your target audience. They will be your data contributors and data users, and eventually some of them will be your financiers. Basically, you're talking to the lifeline of your dashboard. So you keep the lines open, you keep the communications open, so that um, you keep the blood of your dashboard flowing. Uh, so um, it will not get obsolete or fade away. And another thing is document every progress, every meeting, every development, and every change. Document it. It keeps you track, and when something goes wrong, you can always go back to see what you have done wrong, or you can revert the changes that you have made, so that you could restore the operation. Another thing is to keep everything legal. Legit software, legit resources, legit protocols, legit processes. No shortcuts. And then exploit open source technology carefully and wisely. This will aid you to your financial difficulty. Some software, like proprietary software like ArcGIS uh, Professional, ArcGIS Pro, or all the other GIS software there, are very expensive. But there's always an open source alternative like QGIS, uh, things like that. Even the content management system, there are proprietary uh, options, but there are many um, wonderful open source options as well. So um, that's my presentation. So I hope those willing, or those of you who want to establish a regional dashboard have learned from the things that you have faced during the development. Uh, well, okay, so that's it. So thank you very much.